Welcome back, Summoners, to Rift Talk. This is our second episode. I'm Vulcan, and with me are my co-casters, Arctik, Atlas, and a special guest today is Mgcstck. We will be talking about the Garena Premier League, the Premier League in League of Legends of Southeast Asia, and your ticket to Worlds.
Of course, GPL Summer 2017 will be held in Bangkok, Thailand from the 21st of August all the way to the 27th.
And you know what's really interesting, guys, about this particular GPL is across the past GPLs, we've usually had 6 teams, but because of Vietnam's performance, 4 out of 5 championships during the GPL. Yeah, really impressive indeed. You know, they were granted 2 slots actually now, so we'll be seeing a second team, the first runner-up coming in from the Vietnamese league, participate in the group stage for the GPL.
I mean, when you're performing that well in the GPL, you should be rewarded. And I think due to the different changes of the GPL in terms of format, this opens up a lot of opportunities, especially the first round of Vietnam finally stepping into the GPL. And now, I mean, we've been talking about our teams who are participating, 7 teams. Let's talk about that.
So pag-una muna natin pag-usapan, arguably the strongest team in Southeast Asia, Gigabyte Mines.
I would say strongest is an understatement. One of the gods of Southeast Asia.
Yeah, definitely. Winning so much hard. Like, sa Rift Rivals, medyo nag-lose sila ng steam. They had a really hard time carrying Southeast Asia, but now after that, they just stomped all the way back to GPL, and I think they're a very strong team. Even with the roster changes, like Archie's now in top lane, sa tingin ko, sobrang lakas pa rin nila.
And at the end of the day, if you're going to compare them to the other Southeast Asian teams, I think the bar is still pretty high. I mean, the skill gap is still pretty steep in my opinion. So, in my opinion, Gigabyte Marine's probably going to be the top team. I wouldn't actually be surprised if they're going to just take GPL.
For me, because it's like they're fighting for the second spot. All other teams, they're fighting for the second spot, while the Marines, no doubt, the gods of the sea, will be securing their first spot going into Worlds.
So next up, pag-usapan natin yung team from the host country, Ascension Gaming.
Home court advantage, because we used to hear the word Bangkok Titans, one of the juggernauts of Thailand, but now it's now Ascension Gaming. They used to be like almost, actually in my opinion, they almost got reverse swept by the Bangkok Titans, and I think that's a huge power imbalance on them.
Definitely. Pero now, meron silang Korean import sa top lane nila. Actually, if you looked at the image earlier, medyo halatang new player siya kasi iba yung uniform niya. But I think having that Korean import will definitely help them out coming into GPL. Because definitely, as we saw with Celestial with Mineski, a huge improvement, and I think that's going to be the same case Ascension.
And what's really interesting is that, kasi if you're gonna look at the previous GPL, they had no way. So parang yun yung pang-push nila in a way to really make them a really good team. So to see that they have a Korean import this time around, it's really a step up. So tingnan natin kung gano'ng kalakas yung dynamic na yun in comparison to having had no way before, now going to this import in the top game.
Language barrier though is still there.
Oh yeah.
Next one, the representative of Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur Hunters, they retained most of their roster except they got one legendary Malaysian player back again.
Zora Vecchi. I have so much respect for this guy. Pero ngayon, AD carry siya. Main role niya dati ay jungle, nung nasa LMS siya. But now he's returning to his home country for Kuala Lumpur Hunters. And really, as much as I have respect for him, medyo question mark yung magiging performance niya as AD carry in the international stage. Pero I'm hyped. Hype na hype out for him.
But I think because he was used to be the main shot caller, at least he will have some place in the ADC role. Medyo bagay sa kanya.
Yeah, it reminds me of Celestial. Kasi AD carry and shot caller.
Yeah.
It's a very hard job.
Maybe
I
it's
think,
the meta.
Yeah, I think if anyone's going to do it, it's gonna be Vecchi.
Tsaka hindi namin pwedeng i-discount yung fact na if you're gonna compare how KLH performed last year, it was, if I'm not mistaken, that was actually a 3-2 when they went up against Gigabyte Marine. So maybe, hopefully we'll just have to see how Vecchi affects that dynamic, whether or not they could pull off that same prominence, or will Vecchi potentially pull them back. You know, it's all about the preparation for Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
But I think that for KLH, I mean, 5 times they won their own respective tournament. I think that's a name to really fear and to respect.
I think they got Ozora Vecchi back again just for leadership. I think that's what they lacked last GPL. I mean, the raw talent is there. Shiro is a good laner. Caspel is a god in
Yeah,
the
I
jungle.
love Caspiel.
But I think they had some questionable calls, especially in Game 5 against Gigabyte. So I think it's a good decision to get a veteran player like Ozarove.
So it's like Kalish is gonna be stronger while Gigabyte Marines is medyo stumbling because of a new roster, in a way. But not too much impact.
The next one we're going to talk about is the Headhunters. They're a fairly new team in the GPL.
But they're mostly the crowd favorites at least.
From their home country.
Yeah, you know, respectively, dapat. But all I could say is from the Headhunters is that major new team and still, I don't think they can still cope up with what's happening with the new GPL system.
Definitely. Yung problema sa new team sa isang international stage ay yung experience. Meron ba silang enough experience para gumawa ng right calls sa international stage, international meta? Yun yung biggest worry ko. But I'm looking forward to see what the Headhunters can pull out.
One positive I could think of as far as the experience factor, they do have a veteran in the form of
yeah.
Ruben. But yeah, I actually agree with you. There is still that factor when going into the GPL, will they still have that same performance? Because like locally, sure, you could have veterans to pull you through, but again, GPL is a whole new level, especially with all these teams really stepping up their game, whether it be through imports or through their rigorous training regimen. So we'll just have to see.
Okay, another problem for the Headhunters is they lost their starting mid laner. So he got hospitalized. So I think they imported one Korean player for the mid lane. And I think that's what we're talking about the other teams getting imports, the language barrier.
Yeah,
for these teams.
definitely. Because I don't think
Indonesians.
I don't think they have a huge focus on English or even any other foreign language. So we'll see how it all fares out.
In the GPL. So the representatives of Singapore right now, technically they're Rigel from the last split. They're branded to Resurgence. They won with mostly the former roster from Rigel. But suddenly, they got two new Thai players.
Yeah, from Thailand. Intreso is actually really popular in his region, and I think he's going to pull Rigel forward because from last GPL, medyo ano yung performance ng Rigel. But I think with the new Thai players, they're not Korean imports, but I think they're going to be very good additions to the team.
I think we're seeing a pattern here, like bring back the veterans, bring back the grown-ups, and let them follow the lead. Because what we've seen with the Marines and also the Ascension is that they're following the same pattern, especially KLH. So I think this is actually a step up, getting back to their roots.
I don't know, because to be honest, I mean, they might have been performing not exactly the best in the GPL as far as power rankings, but I've always been a fan of the Singaporean squad. It's just that looking at the squad right now with all the imports, it doesn't really feel like that same Singaporean team that I usually root for. So again, yeah, there's also that factor where yung language barrier na rin. So although we have seen other teams like Mineski, for example, yung adaptation nila na yung basic commands, and it's very to the point.
Yeah,
so
but
hopefully,
the thing is that the Philippines has high English learning, and that might be the difference there. But we'll see.
So this is the newcomer in the GPL, the second seed of Vietnam, young generation.
Or as I like to call it, the second place to Vietnam, because in a way, I like how young generation is entering because this is a whole new different team in the GPL. They're mixing in a new ingredient. So I think young generation is going to stir things up, especially knowing that Vietnam has two seeds.
Ang lakas ng Vietnam as a region. Pero pag tinignan mo yung finals nila against Gigabyte Marines, yeah, they were stomps. So medyo worrying yun, but we'll have to see how they fare against the other teams.
And it's the fact that they didn't even need to use Optimus in one game and they
Yeah.
still won. The star player.
So it's very worrying.
definitely worrying indeed. But not just that, just the fact that they're a neophyte team entering the GPL, there's all these different factors like the jitters, maybe how they actually fare. Like you did mention, even though they are second to Gigabyte Marines, I'd still say the skill gap is pretty big in my opinion.
Yeah, the fact that the first place of Vietnam, the Marines, 3-0, the first runner-up in Vietnam means this is going to be big trouble for
Big
The other
disparity.
teams,
other teams, stirring things up.
So we're now on to the representatives of the Philippines in the GPL, our very own Team Manila Eagles.
What can we say about the fact that they reverse swept Mineski in the Rampage 2017 and ended up breaking up the curse?
Definitely it. But my biggest worry with TME is that they're new to the GPL. Like, if Mineski squad this split came to GPL, masasabi ko na okay, they've improved from last split. But now, TME, sobrang bagong factor niya. And sobrang hirap i-predict kung ano yung magiging performance nila. Even if you say, ang lakas si JLC, ang lakas ni Marky and Rox, mahirap talaga sabihin kung magiging above average ba sila, kung maabot ba sila sa finals. Yun lang yung worry ko.
True. Like, there's all these different variables na you put into consideration that ultimately you think na really goes against TME in a way. Pero, I don't know, as someone that had faith in TME during the, pretty much very TME color right now, black and red. But yeah, now that I realize. But yeah, regardless of that, I still have faith in TME. I mean, that same vigor, that same trust that I had, I'm actually expecting that maybe, just maybe, they'd surprise us just like they did during Rampage.
You gotta have Tiwala, dude.
Hashtag Tiwala.
But when it comes to TME, they kind of mimic the playstyle in a way that I would say they're at the same level with the Marines, but the Marines in terms of macro play, they're not that adept, but they make kills very aggressive. And I think TME has some point in that, and they can use that when coming to GPL. So let's hope that the new teams and when enter GPL matches up.
Okay, so let's now talk about the event itself. Who do you think is the biggest threat for TME in the group stage? Sino sa tingin nyo yung magiging dahilan para nila makalabas ng group stage and then face Vietnam or Thailand and make it to Worlds? So start off with
Oh my god, I would say some factors fall into themselves, not just the enemy.
So you're saying they're the biggest, their biggest enemies are themselves.
Top 10 enemy betrayal.
In a way, because when we saw how Rampage played out, it took them time to rep up. At least this is first day would be double wrap robin.
Yeah, and then the problem with that is it's a best of one format.
Oh.
So they don't have time to warm up.
That's
in a way.
That's the problem.
But then again, TME does like go in hard very quickly.
But they also
compared to
crash
Mineski.
harder.
Yeah, but they can crash harder with their playstyle, very aggressive. Pero I think yung pinakamalaking problema siguro, because I can't say GAN because they'll be waiting in the next stage, is Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
Wait.
I'm gonna say Kuala Lumpur Hunters because judging from their performance from last GPL, they had a very good performance. Plus, adding Becky in as a shot caller, I think really pushes them so much forward.
And can Coops actually catch up with Caspiel?
And Caspiel is such an aggressive jungler.
Yeah.
And Coops, even if ito yung meta ni Coops, madaming tanks, Caspiel is just so aggressive, and I'm afraid that Coops might be the one to fall apart.
I mean, I'd actually have to agree with you, Atlas. Like, Kuala Lumpur Hunters, aside from the fact na, because if you're gonna look at the different regions, let's say they made all these crazy, either they make crazy roster changes or they're a new team in general. So new teams, young generation, Hunters. But for Kuala Lumpur Hunters, like it's a roster change that's actually pretty good because this is Becky we're talking about, who's established player siya. So as far as the performance ng Kuala Lumpur Hunters, I'm expecting that same vigor, that same strength that they had from the last GPL, potentially even stronger going into this GPL.
Yeah, plus they've been in GPL for five times, while TME, this is their first time. So it's gonna be all about the experience, and KLH wins in that regard.
Pag-usapan natin yung TME themselves, yung roster nila. Who do you think is the weakest link in TME?
Wow, I mean, as far as weak links, if you were gonna ask me during Rampage, I automatically probably would have said Coops. But looking at the meta right now, I feel like it's definitely in his favor. So you have to look at other factors now going on for TME. Next to Coops, I'm kind of worried for Trevor, but not necessarily because I doubt his mechanics. I believe that he's a very talented player, probably one of the best mid laners in the Philippines. The problem is, he's technically studying right now.
He doesn't have the confidence.
Probably confidence, yeah, but I still consider that factor where juggling studies with being a
that's
pro
true.
That's a huge ano rin kasi, like you're not able to release your full potential. Sure, you could be good, but yung full potential
You don't have as much time to practice, to research, and I think, and I'm gonna have to agree, na if Trevor falls behind, it's gonna be hard for the rest of the team to pull him up rather.
So does that mean you're voting Trevor then?
Yeah.
For the rest of the season?
Kasi si Coops, even if he falls behind, he can pwede pa rin niya tulungan si JLC, pwede niya iligtas yung lane ni Trevor kung maging behind siya. And so I think talaga if Trevor gets behind, everyone else sa TME gets really behind them.
How about you, Hebo?
Oh my God.
You're a big fan of TME. Kasi kung sino talaga sa tingin mo yung ano. Who do you think is the weakest link na TME?
If I have to be really honest when it comes to what happened in the finals and how the game would be played out, I have to agree with Theo and that it would be Trevor. Because he takes time to rev up, and I think as I said, he's a very talented player. The way he plays mimics a lot of good players, like very safe, very adaptive, and lots to, when it comes to CS, he knows how to CS, all of it is on point, but he does not have his confidence here. I think that he needs more confidence, and when he has the confidence, you saw what happened in the Rampage finals, that he was able to step up and make it to a play that mid lane was actually the spotlight.
So here's to hoping na Trevor gains his confidence and makapag-practice pa siya more. Kasi alam natin, sa League of Legends, mid lane, one of the biggest focal point of the game. Lahat ng mga malalakas sa teams from other regions na kilala natin, from LCK, NA,
Mid lanes.
yeah, mid laners talaga yung nag-stand out, and I think if Trevor falls behind, malaking bagay talaga ito for TME.
Yeah, it's not like Trevor is a weak player. It's just that when it comes to GPL, he would be the weakest link.
Because you have to face up against G4, Optimus, and all the other mid laners.
Who are not
especially in the junglers as well. Mahirap pag yung jungler
If you
mo.
make one small mistake, Optimus is gonna eat you up.
But we're still hoping na makalabas muna tayo ng group stage. So we can face Optimus.
Oh well, let's just go for whatever we can.
After talking about the weakest link for TME, let's talk about the focal point of the team naman. Yung player na kapag hindi nag-perform, kahit gano'n pa kagaling yung apat na members ng team, they won't have a chance to win the GPL. So let's start with Atlas.
So tingin ko si Coops. Like, you're gonna be surprised. But sobrang lakas si JLC, sobrang lakas si Marky. Pero as a jungler, alam ko to, na pag yung jungler hindi nakapag-step up, pag hindi ka siya nakapag-gank, invade, or at least pressure, pressure out ng lanes para sa wave control, para sa just poking out the enemy laner or just summer spells. Pag hindi nila nagawa yun, sobrang hirap na maging ahead yung rest of TME. Because if you consider the other laners in GPL, they're so strong. And you will need the jungler's help every single time.
Especially with the meta now, like I've been talking about earlier, with the meta really leaning towards Coops. And considering the dynamic as to how TME functions, where Coops is kind of the guy that complements everybody to really build up to their core strength. So going into the GPL, that's something I'm really hoping that Coops is able to accomplish. Like, I'd never think I'd see the day wherein I'd say that Coops is that key ingredient that TME needs to really push and get them to function to optimal levels. So hopefully, fingers crossed, make it work.
How about you, Helen? Because I think Arctik voted for Coops right there.
Well, when it comes to performance, it's sense of the meta right now in the setting that you go into GPL, I would have to agree in the jungle area, because seeing how other members of the GPL teams like SPL is doing, even if you do so well, when other lanes are not performing as much, I would say it's up to the jungle side who would get the short end of the stick. But if I had to choose for a second choice, I would say top lane, because if JLC does not play the hard carry we've seen in Rampage, or the same miracle play we did, I would say JLC would be the under the spot.
Since we agreed na Coops is the focal point of the team, I think it's going to be hard for him kasi hindi naman push over yung mga junglers sa GPL.
They will steal everything.
Yeah. Biggest example lang, Caspian. We saw him playing GPL Spring, and then if it wasn't for James, Mineski controlling him in the jungle, I think Caspian would have destroyed Mineski in the group stage.
And if you don't control the jungle like Caspiel, I think he would steal everything. Go kills or go
So,
and Levy too. You can't ignore Levy. Like, not just Levy himself, but his relationship with Optimus. Like, having a very good connection between the mid laner and the jungle is very, very optimal. We see this NA with DSM, we see this in the LCK with SKT. So, having that synergy is going to be very, very important.
And in Southeast Asia in general, like since we're talking about junglers, like that's one thing I feel like we're really abundant at. Well, with technically like all these talented junglers coming in, so
aggressive
it's really
junglers.
Exactly, and andun talaga yung pressure kay Coops na he has to kind of perform up to par, or even technically even better those junglers right now who are just so established in the GPL right now.
for us to even have a chance to make it out of groups, and then hopefully face either Ascension or Gigabyte in the knockout stage.
So there you have it, ladies and gents. Looks like that concludes yet another episode of Ref Talk. Of course, be sure to support TME, not just TME I'd say, but of course all our Southeast Asian regions that will be going into Worlds eventually. Of course, once again, this has been Arctik at your service. Of course, with me is Atlas Vulcan, and together with us is Mgcstck. We'll see you guys during the next episode. Stick around.